Alrighty, so today Combs and I are going to do something a little bit different, taking us out of a comfort zone completely. We're going to be just going through, what we take on our trips, from our setup, from our car to our, the trailer.
Our electrical setup.
Electrical setup, which isn't too fancy. I know we've seen a lot of fancy stuff out there. We are not like that. We are super simple.
And also our camera setup.
And also our camera setup, which is once again very simple, and just goes to show that what we can put out there is you don't need fancy stuff to explore and enjoy and capture. And one of the main reasons why we do what we do is so that we can look back many years later and say, well, geez, we did that and we enjoyed that, and these are adventures.
And these are memories.
And if we can help anybody out there just with one hint or one, what do you say?
If we can just help motivate you to just do a little bit more, go a little bit further, put yourself out there, and also just make memories and record them, because you'll regret not recording them because you won't remember them all. And I think that's what started this, is we wanted to record it for ourselves, and we always made the videos for ourselves. And then we decided to start the channel because then we knew that, well, no matter where we are, we can always watch our own videos and we can always enjoy our own holidays as well as our families. So it's been really nice for us to have this, and I encourage people to record their stories, because not only for other people, that's part of it, but it's actually mostly for ourselves.
It is for ourselves. And if we can help anybody do the same, or just give them a sense of that anyone can do this.
And you don't need fancy stuff.
Yeah, just get out and do it.
Yeah. Okay. I hope you enjoy.
Okay, so let's start off by chatting about why we have the car we have today. So this started many years ago, whereby we had an all sedan, and we didn't have a trailer, and we had normal tents.
We started with a Runix and a Corolla.
No, we started with a Jetta. We had a GD6 first.
No, we
right?
had my Corolla first.
Oh, so we had the Corolla first.
And the Runix.
And the Runix. And then we had a GD6, just with normal tents, right? And it was okay for our two kids, actually one kid at the time.
Josh was a baby, he was in the Jetta.
That's it. And then, as we kind of grew as a family, we decided we need a little bit more space, because, you start accumulating things the more you camp. And these sedans are getting a little bit too small. So we purchased a X-Trail, 2.5 litre.
2x4?
2x4. Absolutely loved it. It was a fantastic car.
We did love it.
Loads of space. We took it to Namibia, the one here, and I'm sure you've seen on some of our older videos, we ended up unfortunately rolling the thing and writing it off. Nobody was injured. We literally broke, I think we broke one wine glass and cracked
wine glass is all we broke,
and cracked a box, and that is it. And with that said, we went back to Nissan, and we purchased our second
vehicle,
X-Trail, the new model. But it's
important to note that we never got the second X-Trail after we got the trailer. We got it literally the month before the trailer became available, and if we had known we were getting a trailer, we probably would not have got the X-Trail, because it's not very powerful to pull a heavy trailer.
It's a bit underpowered to pull what we were wanting to pull. So anyway, so we bought the 4-wheel drive. We won't call it a 4x4 per se. It's a 4-wheel drive, and loved it. Absolutely loved it. Up until the time, yeah, it was a fantastic car. Up until the time our neighbors sold us their trailer, and we weren't in the market for a trailer.
We loved it when we had the trailer, but when you go anywhere off grid, you struggle.
We weren't even in the market for the trailer at all. We were going to change our tents and change our complete setup, but not investing in any trailer. But our neighbors, incredible friends of ours, they upgraded to a bush lapper, and they sold us their Echo 3. And it was a 2-day decision. We sat and we debated what should we do, and
tent or trailer.
Tent or trailer, new tent or trailer, and we decided to, okay, let's go for the trailer. Anyway, so we went for the trailer. We'll never ever look back. It's been the best thing ever. We unfortunately found out that the 2.5 this next all drive was petrol was not cut out to tow,
A heavy
trailer. So
not up hills.
that became a bit of a problem, and the car did cut out a couple of times, saying forward drive system overheating.
Any uphill, any steep uphill.
And we got caught in Golden Gate. We were stuck in Golden Gate on a hill. Couldn't move. We had to stop the car. It just wouldn't take us any further. We got caught at another campsite. Whereabout was that?
Near Swellendam.
Near Swellendam. We had a Ford EcoSport tow us out diesel. So it was quite embarrassing. And then, yeah, we decided, okay, fine, we've had enough. I think we're doing more damage to the car than it deserves. So we decided to look for a new car. Sure, man, I tell you, we had so many options available to us that all considerations. Obviously, Fortuner for us was a car we've always wanted, but I mean, you obviously had to go through the whole process, and you got your checklist, right? We spoke about the Ford Ranger, and if we get the Ford Ranger, we're gonna have to soup up the back and get the box system going, and because we don't need a back at the back, right? So we don't need a bakkie. But it would have been nice to have a really nice canopy and your suits out at the back, and gone that route.
But we're from Cape Town and we have a family, so
we got 3 kids. Okay, so we got 3 kids as well, so that wouldn't have worked
as well for us.
So what was the next car? We've looked at the Everest. Okay, so the Everest we looked at, and yeah, appealing. Some of the family members and friends that we spoke to, some of them are Ford, some of them are Toyota. You either one or other. You can't be both. But one of the reasons,
we've always been Toyota people.
Yes, we've had a couple of Toyotas, and we've had no problems at all with them. We've never had Ford, so we were a little bit hesitant, and just purely because we just don't know, and we're none wiser to that. So
yeah. So
also one of the reasons we didn't go for the Everest is the boot. Okay, so obviously the 7-seater.
Well, the one we looked at, we don't know what the new one looks like.
Yeah, I'm not too sure exactly. So the older version, the 7-seater, the 2 extra seats collapse down into the boot, they are hidden, but it's got a bit of a camber, a bit of a slant to it. So say for instance you do want to kind of put in a box system, it might be a little bit difficult to do so, whereby the Fortuner, we've got the 7 seats, the extra 2 seats at the back, we can actually completely take it out, and then we can kind of box it out, and it's level. So that's one, whether it be a silly reason for us or not, it is one of our reasons that we kind of chose.
But ultimately it was reliability.
It was reliability. We've had Toyotas before. I've had a Renix, Commons had Toyota Corolla. The older one, she's got the new Toyota Corolla now, and it's going crazy. It's really, really nice. And then obviously after the Nissan X-Trail, we thought, look, they don't have anything else to offer, Nissan. So we kind of opted for the for the Fortuner. We just really thought it was one of those safe bets. Yeah, I've had it for about a year and a half now. Just never looked back. Look, we got the 2016 version.
Budget's always a consideration.
100%, especially when we got 3 kids in Cape Town. I went manual. Very difficult to find. I looked for over a year to try and find a manual.
In our price brackets.
That
wasn't murdered by some Joburgian going on lots of travel trips.
So says the Cape Townians, right? Anyway, so in manual, on advice of my father-in-law, just said, listen, you're towing a trailer, it's nice to have a little bit more control.
If anything goes wrong, it's not electronic.
Yes, and you've got more control over your power, and yeah, I just felt I would enjoy that. So that's one of the reasons we went manual. I know a lot of the automatic systems at the moment are really, really, really good, and they've come a heck of a long way. I don't know. I just when I was towing with it, even though the X-Trail is really underpowered, and know this, when I was towing with the X-Trail, it just made, it scream up a hill, and I had no control over it, so the engine selected its own, own gearage. Anyway, so to put it short, I just wanted a little bit more control when towing my trailer. So, and I never look back. I love it. It'd be nice to in traffic and stuff to have the auto, but hey, I enjoy my manual. And I went it back. Look, we got like I said, we got the 2016 version. At the time, it was what we could afford, and it had everything that we needed. I had 80,000 on the clock, so it was a second-hand vehicle. And
we bought it from the middle of nowhere. So
2.8 GD6 4x4. Obviously, we needed a 4x4 if we wanted to kind of, at some point explore Africa, a little bit more. Yeah, we've kept the kids' seats in for now. Because they do have friends, and we do, they take their friends out, and
we don't need space.
We don't need much space for the trailer, so that has helped us. We have used them a couple of times, but we would think in the next couple of years we'll probably take them out and explore different storage options. Okay, so that is us and our car, and why we have what we have.
So in general, we're very happy with our choice of car. I don't regret it one bit, and I think there's a number of things we still want to do to the car. We do have what we call like a dream list. We really want the roof rack on the top, for like the so-called flatbed, to put extra fuel, wood, storage. We would also really like to raise the suspension. I think a lot of people do that when they travel, especially off-road. And we would really like to be able to include a snorkel in the front, and perhaps my husband has his own little list of things he wants to add, but those are the main things. Those are the big three: the snorkel, the roof rack, and to raise the suspension at some point. Other than that, I don't think we're going to do too much or anything too extreme to the car. We're quite happy with how it works, and we have the trailer for a lot of the other functions. At the moment, we're camping at Riverzicht, so this is our view.
As mentioned earlier, we bought our Echo 3 trailer in 2018 from our very good friends and neighbors. They upgraded to a bush larper. We were super fortunate enough to have received this in really, really good condition, so our friends took really good care of it. We are only the second owners of this trailer. They did do one or two modifications to the tent, but other than that, there hasn't been anything else done to the trailer. And it is, pretty much stock standard. It's really cool that our part of our tent, it does come with a 270-degree awning. These awnings are unzippable, so if you need to, so for instance, if you're going to go for like a weekend for only a 2-day camp, you can save yourself a hassle of putting the whole 270-degree awning up, and you can just take part of it down. Makes life a heck of a lot easier and quicker to set up. With the awning, we do have 2 drop-down sides, so you can kind of enclose and make a little bit of a rim. We usually do this near the bedroom entrance, and we also have a green sheet netting that we've converted into another drop-down wall just for our windy days. It's also nice; you can still see out onto your campsite or wherever you are. But it does also give you a sense of privacy as well. Okay, so it takes us plus minus 20 minutes to an hour to set up the tent.
So we have a homemade netting that we put Velcro at the top, because the Velcro attaches to the tent up here, and it makes a windscreen as well as a sidewall and protects us from wind and rain and bad weather. It's very handy to have one like this. We've made it ourselves. We used an old ground sheet that we modified, and it seems to work really nicely because you can actually look out but you can't look in. It's a home job, so we have Velcro over there, but we've also attached an old tie for the poles, and we've made it adaptable so that we can, where depending on where we actually put it, it can go anywhere, and we can just adapt the length of it using that. There's our windscreen, which, like I said, shelters you from the inside, but you can't really also look in, which is really handy about it. We can use it at any corner, at any point of our tent, so we can move it around whenever we want to use it somewhere else. Depends which way the wind's blowing. So this is what we call our kitchen cupboard. It's stock standard for the Echo 3. We've got our mugs and glasses. We've got all our cutlery, knives, forks and things. We've got our plates, our bowls. One of the pots can get stored here, and then this is our pot drawer, where we keep all our loose ends, pots, etc. And underneath we've got our jaffle maker, and usually my husband's bar utensils fit underneath that drawer. In the cupboard we have wine glass or wine bottle holders. We use it for wine glasses, and then we keep some of our most commonly used utensils over there. We have 2 drawers, as well as our stove and stainless steel top, which is very handy for cutting when we don't have our chopping board with us. The top drawer we generally use for all our utility items. We have little containers which we keep all the small things in, and then our bottom drawer we usually have for food items, everyday items that we're just using on a daily basis. These were put on to help with the vibrations. They're just foam and it's just been stuck on, but this is a standard drawer. We haven't done anything to modify our Echo. This is the back of our trailer. It's just an open space when it's empty. So this is our basic trailer interior. We have a Campmaster pocket attachment that we bought from Takealot and use to keep many different small items. I like the fact that it's see-through, and it was easy to buy and easy to install with a rivet gun. We always go camping with a coffee maker, but we can only use it in an electrified campsite. When we don't have electricity, then we use a plunger. So this is our fridge. We use a Snowmaster Classic. We bought it from Takealot. I think it was a Black Friday special. Preferably we wanted Snowmaster, but we had no particular reason other than that seemed to be the better choice at the time. We've been very happy with it. It did cut out just before the warranty ended, so we actually had it repaired last December just before our trip. So that's probably the only pitfall to it, but luckily it was fully under warranty. The one we chose has 2 separate compartments, a fridge and a freezer, or you can use them both as a fridge or both as a freezer, so it's a dual setup, which I think is very handy to have when you're in the bush, because we generally start with it as a dual freezer and we'd make it a dual fridge by the end of a trip. So we keep our linen on top of the mattress, and we put the kids' mattresses on top of that. Generally it always closes. Every now and again we've put extra pillows or put things there that have made it harder to pack away, but it's generally quite easy to fold up. There you can see the zips that you can unzip to have access to the drawers and cupboards on the other side of the trailer. So we have the 2 stretchers side by side with these soft mattresses on top of the stretchers for comfort. What I've done is I've got a queen size old sheet that I actually sewed a sleeping bag that no longer the zip worked, and so I opened it up and I actually sewed the sleeping bag underneath the sheet so that the kids have a little bit more protection from the ground cold. So this is the inside of our trailer. We've got 2 feather duvets, one for the kids and one for us. Basically the kids have their own blankets under, but the feather duvets keep us warm in the winter. There's our headlamps, the 2 LED lenses, and the stairs that takes us up.
Okay, so as far as our solar setup goes, look, we are really simple. We don't have anything fancy, all done by family members, as they're all electrical engineers, so it just kind of helped me out. We've got a simple 100 watt panel, and then we have got, okay, our battery system at the moment, we literally our battery died yesterday just before this was filmed. So we got kind of like a spare battery just underneath, which does not fit the doesn't fit the bracket, so we need to get a new battery as soon as we can. We have got just a straightforward regulator, 12 volt 20 amp regulator, solar regulator that we've installed. And that just helps us with these campsites whereby we don't have electricity. Once again, it's nothing fancy. It runs all our LED lights, runs our side connections, which helps us out with lighting, and runs our fridge as well. So yeah, so as far as our solar system is concerned, we are actually load shedding right now at the moment at this campsite. So it has come in handy today. And it seems to be holding pretty fine. We're sitting at 13.5 volts, and yeah, the solar panel is keeping the battery topped up. And yeah, that's all we need for now. And then obviously moving on, we will obviously upgrade when we can.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about our camera equipment. There's the one camera, and these are our bags. This is my husband's bag, and this is my bag. Both bags fit our individual camera setups as well as our laptops, which go at the back of them. We're very happy with the purchase of these 2 bags. They work very well. I'm going to start by going through mine. First and foremost, we have a black towel, which we bought and use a lot on the dashboard when we travel, as well as to cover our cameras to protect them from dust. So I do recommend that you always have some kind of towel to protect your cameras when you travel in the dirt roads or in, kharahari kind of terrain. I started off my camera journey with this lovely little boy, my PowerShot SX60. I still use it, I still keep it. I think it's a very good camera, and I think we'll keep it forever. I don't think it's worth selling and not using. A bridge camera works brilliantly, but ultimately we decided to upgrade from bridge photography to actual more mirrorless and lens driven photography, and that's what got us to our next setup. Inside the bag we have a lot of our smaller lenses, which we'll open up later, and over here you'll see our bigger lens. This is the Sigma 150 to 600 millimeter. This is an old Canon, and it is, gosh, I don't even remember what the millimeters, but I think it's a 60 to 300. Yeah, there we go, 60 to 300. And then this is my camera. It's the Canon M50, which, to be honest, is probably one of the cheapest mirrorless cameras you can get with interchangeable lenses. We decided to go for this particular body simply because of budget. We can't afford the lovely R range, but I feel I also don't deserve the R range because I wouldn't know how to use half the functions on it. So this is a great camera to start off and learn from. We bought, both of us got the exact same camera, so we actually both have an M50, and what we did do is we bought different adapters. So we've got an adapter that increases our zoom, as well as another adapter with glass inside which improves our aperture. So I'll explain that, but basically we interchanged between the two, and what we did is we decided to go for the mirrorless. We have our mirrorless lenses which we still use and enjoy. However, whenever we use an adapter for all the older Canon lenses, which you can buy secondhand and which are far less expensive than some of the other camera models and other camera makes like Nikon, etc. Canon has a huge range of adaptable lenses. So I have 3 mirrorless lenses. We have the wide angle 11 to 22 millimeter lens, which we use for time lapses, viewpoints, scenery, wide angles. Then over here we have a prime lens, a mirrorless 22 millimeter. I think it's an f2. So I've used this, or attempted to use it, for astrophotography, which I rather enjoy doing, but I think we're going to have to upgrade our body to get to better astrophotography, because the camera itself is not equipped to do the best star photography, although we try to watch a whole lot of channels and learn and figure it out. Then one of the ones we use more often for just general photography is the 15 to 45 millimeter mirrorless lens. That's a very useful lens. It doesn't zoom very far, so it's not for wildlife photography, but if you want to get something happening now, something close by, something quick that you know you're going to capture, you can always edit post-production. That's a pretty decent start. So the 2 lenses we use the most are my husband's 400 millimeter prime and my Sigma 150 to 600. That is what we use primarily for wildlife photography. I enjoy capturing a little bit of everything, which makes this one very versatile for me. My husband has always gravitated towards action photography and bird photography, and this is a fantastic bird lens, which actually works quite well with the mirrorless camera and focuses really fast. So the 2 devices we actually use the most are our cell phones, and we can never underplay how valuable the camera you have in your hand is in photography and in capturing memories.
Well, it's moments. It's moments in time, right?
Exactly. So whatever you're doing, your cell phone's generally with you, and sometimes the best footage we've actually captured using our phones. I have an old Samsung Note 9.
Yeah, and I'm using the Samsung 20, what's it? S22. Not the Ultra, but the smaller version, because it's really, for me, I like something a little bit smaller. Carmen loves the usability of her big Note, and soon to be getting the I think it's the S23 Ultra, which gives her a little bit more scope of with nighttime photography.
Yeah, as I mentioned before, I'd really enjoy nighttime and low light photography, but that's something that will come with time. But it certainly needs a better lens and a better equipment, and I do think it'll be fun to experiment with the S23 Ultra, which is meant to actually have exactly those things. But really, the best camera you have is the one you actually have in your hand. So if you're anything like us, you are curious about what other people use and how other people camp, because you want to learn from it. I hope you've learned something in this video, and I hope it's inspired you to capture your own memories regardless of what equipment you use. Just get out there, do more, see more, and capture those moments. If you have any questions, just remember to comment below and let us know what you find useful and what we could do more of. Also, please remember to like and subscribe if you enjoy our content. And until the next time.